Yes, we're recording. Hey guys, welcome back to the Cookie Chat over here on YouTube. We are just two basic bakers letting loose and keeping it real. Some housekeeping real quick while you're here. Why not? Just like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you can be notified. Every time we post a video, you are the first to know. Unless
Everybody's doing it.
you are a Patreon member. Melissa, what do we got going on Patreon?
Oh, our Patreon members, give us a shout out below if you're a Patreon member. We love you guys so much, and we love seeing that community grow. It's just another point of contact, guys. Another way for us to get in the trenches with y'all and see what y'all want to learn more about. And we have all kinds of just freebies. All these handouts that we're about to talk about are free for tiers 2 and 3. And we even have exclusive episodes coming out with our tier 3 if they haven't already. And discounts on merch, just all kinds of amazing stuff. And it also supports us being able to continue doing all of this. So we love seeing you guys over here. And yeah, go check it out.
You guys get access to us too. We try and respond through those ones and really help out where we can. But kind of leads us into, supporting us so we can keep doing what we love is leading us into our just relaxed, chilled topic this week of what is going on in this world, man.
Well, okay, that's loaded. So
that is loaded. But as far as business
goes, get more specific.
Yes.
To get more specific. We've all seen the reels. Shoot, guys, go to the grocery store. Everything is so expensive.
Man, I'm about to pick up a side hustle to support my butter addiction over here.
Seriously, everything is so expensive. I can't tell you how many times I've been like, man, did I choose the right time to back off of customs or what? Because I haven't had to buy ingredients in a while. And it hurts me to see how much everybody is really stressing and struggling with it. So we thought we would talk about it and how to go about that with our businesses.
Right. Just open discussion, nothing too heavy or on it, but we feel it too. I don't think it's not discriminating against new bakers versus seasoned bakers versus this is something that we all are feeling. And we talked about it in one of our other episodes in our email communications about pricing and increasing those prices. That's scary for all of us because I addressed it in one of my reels. It's different when you raise your prices because your skills increase and you have time versus you're kind of right now, I feel backed into a corner and forced to raise your prices, which, like I said, is already scary for people. So asking for that.
I know. And I've even seen some cookiers saying I haven't raised my prices in 3 years. And instead of giving myself a rightful raise, it's purely just trying to stay in business, having to raise prices. And that kind of kills me too, because then it's almost like they don't really get the raise that they should be asking for because they're, are they going to be able to ask for the raise after things level out?
I know. I just increased my prices because of my skill level at the beginning of the year. And then a month and a half into it, everything kind of hit the fan. And right now I have not. I have $1 or so, but nothing substantial at this point. I'm not eating a cost by any means, but that raise that I thought I was going to have, so I could start to back off a few of my customs to give more time to things like the cookie chat. I'm like, right now it's pretty much a wash. So
I've seen a few different things. I've seen people say that they are increasing prices for now. So having it be, I forget what it is, how exactly they phrase it, but it's not necessarily. Do you know what it is?
I've seen what you're talking about, but I feel like everyone's calling it something different, like the temporary price increases. Or
it's a temporary price increase. But honestly, I don't know that prices are going to go down that much. I think that we've been due for some decent inflation for a long time.
Yeah, this is, I feel like this is rapid, and coming from the banking world prior, we would always, things like this happen. It's a pattern. Again, it levels itself out. We don't usually see a big crash. Yes, we saw a housing market crash. I'm not
I know, but
taking away
I
from
don't
that.
know. I think that the housing market will level out
Yeah,
a
that's what
bit.
everything will end up doing is leveling. We're not gonna go,
Mhm.
like, here to here, but it
Right.
finds an even balance.
Yeah.
So it will balance, I think. I mean, I have seen a drop in my butter price since I posted that reel. So it
Mhm.
was a slight, but I mean, at that moment, then I stocked up, and
Yeah.
we've kinda talked about this in previous episodes, so if you have not already seen them, please feel free to binge watch all of our episodes on YouTube. Um, Having that set savings account for an emergency. I
Mhm.
deemed it in the past an emergency of I had to cancel an order or something happened in that sense. That was like my sick time pay. And just like you guys, we're kind of learning and pivoting our businesses as we go. And that's a really important part of business is to pivot when things like this happen, not to freak out. We're all in the same boat and just trying to find. But that savings account has now become a when things drop, I can bulk all my ingredients because that's something I have to have versus cutting
Yeah.
back on like extravagant packaging or excessive like extra fun goodies. The bare bones of my business are those ingredients. So when the price
Sure.
drops, I'm like, snag it up because if it goes down, cool, I'm just going to save more. But if it goes up, at least I have that cushion room.
Yeah. Well, and building off of that, now's the time to really be on the lean side of your business as far
Hmm.
as not indulging in all of the cookie cutters and looking at buying. I mean, there's a lot, at least around here, we have a buy and sell Facebook page
Oh, I
for
love
the
that
cookiers
for
around
cookies.
here.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I mean, there are tons of cookiers who have moved on from the business and they
Hmm.
will sell their things there. So buying secondhand things, buying secondhand projector. I think a projector is huge in a world of living lean in
Hmm.
your business because rather than buying all the cutters, you can either hand cut shapes like from clip art or make your own in Procreate. Or you can also, put shapes on plaques, things like that. And also not buying maybe looking at doing more bags with homemade bows
Hmm.
for pre sales or packaging purposes versus doing all of the beautiful pre tied bows online.
Yeah, it takes an
Things,
extra step on things like that, like the ribbon,
yeah.
but I mean, I've kind of taken that step, and I know Melissa's taken a little bit of a step back from customs so far this year. So, I'm not trying to negate you or anything
Yeah.
with it. But even just thinking of the holidays is if y'all remember, I purchased like bulk bows, I think September. I still have bows, and I talked about this,
Mhm.
is thinking smarter, not harder later on down the road that I was like, "Hey, I'm picking colors that are gonna carry me." So, like, those reds, some people don't like reds for the holidays, but I was like, "It's
Mhm.
something that left over I could carry." Right
Yeah.
now, I am so thankful I stuck with that because I have stuff, my ribbons that I bought at Christmas, unless it has, like, a Christmas tree on it, I'm not using that.
Yeah.
But the filler ones, I'm getting creative and I'm using my colors of my ribbons to create my, holiday orders coming up, like, modeling them after that. So that way I'm not having to go buy because everything has taken an increase. The
Yeah.
dollar store is not the dollar store anymore.
I know, it's
The
like
dollar
my
store
favorite.
no
I
mo.
mean, it's still cheaper.
It
I would
is.
also say, if you have a local cookier, you can split cost of, I mean, some of these bulk purchases
Mhm.
so that you're not paying double shipping. And you may not need that many of that size box, especially when it comes time for pre-sale stuff. Um, so that's really popular. I mean, that's popular here is splitting cost of some of those things too.
We've done before in the Arizona cookie group is take an order survey. I think it was you no, it wasn't Uline. It was oh, what is the other one? Papermart.
Mm.
Papermart.
Mhm.
If you start to buy so many more of an item, it gets cheaper. And one of our cookiers one time was like, "Hey, I don't mind taking it on, but I need these boxes. So if anyone else needs this popular size," and she just started taking orders.
That's such a good idea.
Right. So it took it from like, I'm just using numbers from like $5 for a thing down to 3. So we all got a share. Shipping them became free because we ordered so much.
Wow.
And then it was like somebody from the West Side was like, "Hey, I'll pick up." I sound so class the west
From the
side.
west
The west
side.
side. The Upper East Side purchased. No, I'm just kidding. But somebody from the East Valley, someone from the West Valley, they all chose to pick up and was like, "Hey, I'll grab everybody who's associated with the West Valley, and then we can have one meetup." So it was just an easier way for us to get a lot at one time. So
That's really smart.
it is, and it's something we haven't done in a while, but with this coming up, like, I mean, shred is gold right now.
Yeah.
So it's just a different way of thinking with your business.
Mhm.
And we kinda saw this in the beginning of the pandemic. Everyone was like,
Yep.
I mean, girl, right now you survived the pandemic. You survived as
Yep.
a small business there. You can survive this. It's just it's always about shifting
Yeah.
in more of a creative way.
And the idea too of, rather than doing stickers on everything,
Yeah.
do look at getting a stamp, look at
Mhm.
doing a QR code to, share your cottage food stuff that's required.
Yes.
I've never looked into QR codes. I don't know if
I have one.
they
I just
yeah,
changed
does
my
it cost
stickers to
money?
QR. No, you can do a free QR, but if you want tracking of it and like to see how many people and stuff, you can pay for more.
Yeah,
But there are free QR code
yeah,
generators, and then you just have to be able to link it to a page. So if you have a
yeah.
website, you can do a hidden page on that. Maybe we should do a video. If you guys would like a video of something
Yeah,
like
let us
that,
know in the
comment
comments.
below. Mhm.
Yeah.
We can always do.
I also wonder too, I personally would err away from doing a flash sale or a porch pickup right now and
Yeah.
more lean into a pre-sale.
Mhm.
Because if you're going to spend that money on the butter, then
Make it worth your dollar.
yeah,
And
yeah,
also to just dovetail off of that, for your designs, maybe this isn't the season to do heavy, high price detailed designs for a pre-sale. If customs are still coming in for that, that's fine. But for your pre-sale, I know we've talked about having different price points.
yeah,
Maybe really thinking of that, which can also add to the fact if you're not, I'm just going to throw this out. Let's say you have a $20 two-piece set, or you have like a single $8 cookie, like customizable cookie.
hmm
Maybe lean more into that $8 one. And that way it's more affordable and you might get more because people are like, hey, I can buy two of these for the cost.
totally.
It
That's
could
what
be
I'm
less
thinking too,
detail.
is leaning into minis more. Maybe if you
Yeah.
do your sets all with regular size cookies all the time, maybe you need to look at kind of doing a mix of regular and minis,
Yeah.
so that you're
This
not
is
using as much dough.
Yeah, and this is really where we have kind of talked about is knowing and testing your market with pre-sales.
Mhm.
So, like Melissa, for example, the paint your own sell so much at hers, but right now I don't know. I have not purchased the paint your own palette, like the pre-done ones, but there are ways around that. You can stamp. Back in the day, we did not
Yeah.
have the Cookie Countess beautiful pre-done palettes, but you had to stamp another cookie with some watercolors
Yep.
and
I've seen
use
people
it.
use Skittles.
Oh yeah, that is very creative.
Mhm.
Jolly Ranchers might work. I'm not sure. We'd have to I feel like
I
that'd
don't
be a
know.
watercolor look. So see, there's things like this where you can experiment on,
Yeah.
um, and still hit that dollar amount because if you sell like a decorating kit for $20, I mean, you're not sitting there spending a ton of time decorating the cookies, but I mean, at this point, a sale is a sale.
Yeah.
So, especially when it comes to holidays, that's what
Or
we're
maybe,
primarily.
just an idea, do classes. I mean,
Yes.
classes make way more money because they're paying for your time versus
Mhm.
all of I mean, you're just not making as much ingredients, and you can charge more for it. So
Yeah.
maybe doing some in-person classes is the way to go too, to make up some of that.
Yeah, and if you're not looking to do any of the holiday sales coming up, you can totally do the themed classes. So you still hit that holiday, like a Cinco de Mayo themed class would be so fun. I
Yeah.
know the art studio I work with is BYOB. And so you could do like a whole fun margarita theme and the
Yeah.
themed of the cookies, and everybody bring their favorite margarita mix.
That would be really fun.
So it would
An
be.
Another idea too, and we've talked about this before, Chelsea knows people in her area that do this. They opt out of holiday
Yes.
pre-sales and they take on the customs because there are still people getting married, having
Mm-hmm.
birthdays, having babies during all of these holidays. So if you're not confident in, gosh, if I do a pre-sale, I'm going to have to raise prices on those, and is my market going to do that and go for that, then maybe it'd be like, hey guys, taking time off of pre-sale for this, but give me all of the holidays, and reach out to your other local cookiers and let them know, because we all have people who come asking for those times of year and we just can't do it.
Yeah. Looking at your dough and the ingredients, it's funny. I know a lot of people have the same rolling pin I have. Do you have the Joseph& and Joseph rolling pin
I
with the
do, and
sides?
I have an additional, I have like an aftermarket additional thing I put on it.
Oh, nice. Oh, the
Yeah,
side
because I
sizing?
roll, yeah, I roll to a
Yes.
half inch, but
Yeah,
that is something where, like, those tiny amounts.
they do. The 3/8 to the whatever one, a lot of the cutter shops will sell the customizable sizing, but
Mhm.
if you test your cookie and if you're new, just starting out and you really don't have like a set, I know one of my friends, she is known for having like the thickest cookie around. And so she's like, I'm not tapping into that. But
Yeah.
if you're still trying to start and really make your dough go as far as it can, looking at the sizing, because if you get 2 dozen out of one batch of dough and by doing a slight size adjustment where it's not playing any factor into like your taste and flavoring or appearance, you could possibly get 3.5 dozen out of that. And so it's just making your ingredients work for you.
Yeah, and really being smart too about, if you are gonna do samples and sample
Mhm.
work, use old dough and roll it insanely thin. It
Yes.
doesn't need to be thick. You can like pat it underneath if you're worried about how it's going to look in photos or something like that. Or make sure that you're adjusting for your packaging to
Mhm.
make sure that your packaging is going to fit. But yeah, I mean, roll that dough real thin
Yeah.
for
No,
your
it's true.
samples.
It gets it. And if you aren't, then if you don't have the luxury of having old dough already and you're making that new dough, don't leave your cookies out. Package them right away and freeze them because that could count as an order. So you're like, hey, one's already done.
Yeah.
Or it could be your backup. Like if something broke or if you needed to give teacher gifts or any in that sense, you always have them. So at times that I haven't had extra, that's what I've done.
Mhm.
You
And
don't.
think about it too, you don't have to put flavoring or some of those extra ingredients into your sample dough. If you're
Mhm.
making dough just for samples, I mean, there's even faux doughs that I've seen too,
Somebody
recipes.
used
I don't,
cardboard, I saw.
yeah, yeah. So that's not bad. I don't know how icing works on that, but, or
Yeah,
even I wonder if you could do like stale bread or like, I
just
don't know.
something to hold its shape.
Yeah.
Hey, we should
Let
try
us
that.
know. I wonder if a pancake would work.
I don't know, but I'm all about that stale dough or the stale bread because what if when bread goes bad and you're like, "Oh, dang it,
Yeah, I
I gotta
just
throw
don't
the
know
whole
if your
thing."
icing would go into all those little,
Oh, it
like,
probably would on the
you
crevice.
know?
Yeah.
I wonder if
Yeah,
you
I
could
wanna
put
try.
I wonder if you could put a stale tortilla on top of it.
Melissa's getting real creative, guys.
I'm gonna
See,
figure
this
this
is the
out.
business thought of, like, the process. It probably just sparked somebody that was like, "I'm claiming this."
I know. I know.
No, but all of these little things, like, there are ways to save within your business,
Mhm.
and I know business is all about growing, but I remember in the very beginning, like, take it back to when you first started if you are bleh, if you are a seasoned veteran, take it back to when you were, like, being super resourceful,
Yeah.
using your food color as airbrush, like, diluting that down with some alcohol instead of constantly buying every airbrush thing you need.
Yeah.
Like, Melissa is the queen of using plaques. Use those plaques or borrow. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm gonna text one of my cookier friends that are in the area for Easter because there's a set I saw that was super cute, and I'm like, "I think she has that cutter." So asking, "Hey, can I borrow it?" Or even, "Can I borrow it the week before? I'll make all mine and freeze
Yeah,
them and then give it back to you so you have it for the holiday." This is
totally.
not to take away from any cutter companies. We are not trying
No.
to steal your
We
business.
used to do, when the girls were little, kids, they like tire of their toys.
Yeah,
We used to do toy swaps with friends. We would
I still do
gather
that.
like, yeah, we'd gather like 10, 12 toys and we swap them with each other. I mean, you could do that with holiday cutters,
Mhm.
like get some of your holiday cutters together, trade them with your friend, you give them
Yes.
back to each other after that pre-sale, but it just allows you to have different things for your customer.
Yeah, or if there's, like, a certain food coloring that I've needed before that I don't use, like one of
Yeah.
those, like, the dust ones. Man, those dusts kill me. My fingers are just now getting unstained.
Yeah.
Um, But
Basic
things like
paper,
that.
what?
I know. Using things like that, asking to borrow those and just kind of helping each other out,
Yeah,
that's where we all grow. There's enough business for everybody, so
yeah.
it's not taking, but we're all feeling this, and are you nervous with holidays coming? The ones that you're gonna do?
I still haven't figured out what I'm gonna do.
I feel like it's
Um,
always nerve-wracking
and
for
no,
holidays.
yeah, it's yes, it's nerve-wracking because I want to do everything.
Mhm.
So I don't wanna let people down because I know people are excited for certain holidays, but I also know what other, like, goals I have going on and what other just things we have going on. So for me, it's more so a matter of balancing. I'm just in a different space. But how are you feeling?
Well, first to recognize yours. I mean, that has to be stressful is what do I want versus what everyone expects from me. Like that has
Yeah,
to be a whole different headspace. So
it
I'm
is. It
I'm so
is,
sorry.
Chelsea. It is.
Yeah, my life is hard. Yeah, I feel I am very nervous no matter what holiday it is and no matter what's going on in the world. I think that the more you're in this industry, people expect that it just gets easier for you, or it's like, "Oh, Melissa doesn't have to worry about that. She's done 7 holidays. She's a pro." As much as we know what's to come and certain areas are less stressful, I still feel the stress. Like, holidays are some of my best sellers. However, they're the most anxiety-ridden weeks for me because I'm like, "Oh gosh, is this design what everybody wants to see?" Now I'm like, "Is this design what everybody wants to see, and is it affordable?" 'Cause what I deem
Yeah.
affordable, that's kinda where I've always set my business is, could I charge way more? Yes, I know I can, but my whole basis of my business is I want it to be affordable for the everyday mom
Mhm.
so that you can still get those Pinterest parties or things like that on a budget. Because I came
Yeah.
from that, and I understand that importance for people. So
That's why I started making my own cookies.
right, that's exactly what I did too. That's how I got started on my daughter's birthday.
Mhm.
So, that was kind of like my business model was to keep it, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, how can I give the most to
Yeah.
people?" And it's just something like I'm so passionate about it, and I love it not just because of I enjoy doing the cookie work, but I just love adding that extra flair and
Yeah.
the relationships I've built. So, yeah, it's in the back of my mind is what are these sales gonna look like? Because again, this is my full-time job, and I think this is where it gets
Right. Well,
scary.
and that adds such another dynamic. I mean, that's the
Mhm.
dynamic of yeah, it being full-time entrepreneur and like truly like helping the household, you know?
Right. Yeah,
That's another
because
type of pressure.
it is, and it's right now in corporate, everyone's like, "Oh, I didn't get, like, that large of a raise." I'm like, "Yeah, but you still regardless of what's going on with the
Right.
economy, you have that steady paycheck, you still have to go to work." My paychecks vary from month to month, and
Mhm.
things like this, just like the beginning of the pandemic was, "Oh my gosh, this is my sole income, so if it drops, this is not just an added bonus to the house at all, this is hardcore bill money." So,
Right.
yeah, it is something, I feel like if you are in that spot, it's just the same thing. We feel for you and
You're
acknowledge
not
it.
alone, guys.
Mm-mm.
Cookie chat's
No,
always here.
we are. But yeah, so just trying to keep that positive mindset and I'm big on I don't wanna say manifesting because that is such an overused word, right? Manifesting. Just putting that
Just
positive
know,
energy
like,
out there.
it's day by day, step by step,
Yeah.
and that you're not alone, and
Mm-mm.
we all acknowledge it, it's going on, and we'll get through it. If we
It
got
sucks. Can we just
through
say it sucks?
if we got through 2020, I'm sorry, but we
2022?
yeah,
I wanna go back to 2021. Who thought we would ever say that?
no,
Like,
no.
I wanna skip to the good part. I wanna put that reel
Right?
insert that reel.
Boom.
Where's the good part in this? But, well, you guys, we just wanted to keep, it simple and acknowledge that this sucks. It's a hard time. It's a hard time for everybody, but stay positive. Find again, in times of worry, in times of hardship is where you kind of learn the key moments that are going to define you as a business owner and moments you never forget. I will never
That's
forget
right.
that feeling of 2022 and when everything hit and what to do. And I learned the most. I've learned the most in the past 2 years about my business. So I just have to remind myself is 2 years from now, I'm going to look back and laugh and be like, oh my gosh, bring it because there's been
That's
so many
right.
things
That's
we've
right.
taken, but we'll try and keep bringing on the positive reels and making you guys laugh about it because if we can't change it, let's just dive into it and have humor. But that's just how we were taking it. So, anything else, Melissa?
I don't think so. I'm proud of you, girl.
We're proud of every single one of you. So, thank you for being here. Make sure that you, again, like and subscribe and ring the notification bell. Check out our Patreon. Follow us on Instagram for, again, those funny reels that we're going to keep coming. And we cannot wait to see you guys next time. I am Chelsea with Rolling in the Dough AZ,
I'm Melissa with Missy P Sweets. May your cakes never be dry.
and your icing be shiny and crater free. Have a good one.
Bye.